I am kicking this week's vlog off with a cloth and paper unboxing. This is the September sub box, and I'm gonna be real with you all. I have no idea what is in this box. I have not been keeping up with their social media post or watching the happy hour live, so this unboxing is a true, genuine first impressions. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, I was not expecting another dust bag. I love what Cloth and Paper is doing with their dust bags this year. I love that every month you get something new. This is definitely the year to want to collect these. I obviously haven't gotten every single box, but I think I have most of them. I love these dust bags. I use them for my stationery. I also use them for when I travel. If I'm using one of my own bags, like a tote bag or something, and I still need to carry a couple of things for my son, I normally have a dedicated pouch for him. So these Cloth and Paper dust bags come in handy. Looks like we get some arrow stickers. I don't think I have this shape. Oh my God, I could actually use it this month. I mean, it says Merlot, but this is really close to the sample stickers that I received in, I don't know. I know that I got it in an order, but I have to see it side by side because these might be a little bit more red and the Bordeaux might be a little bit more like maroon, a little bit more brown. We get a pack of A6. This is the Kanban task tracker. Another monthly reflection card. Harmony. How do you stay motivated? We get a monthly overview. We get a pack of project half sticky notes. I really like these. I could use these. First and foremost, I love the colors. Like this top one is a very light gray, and that seems to be a color that I use quite a bit each month. I kind of just throw it in there and it works as an accent color. And then the bottom looks like a very, very almost gray, light green. This is fun. I like these. I love that these would keep track of the task that you need to do for a project. And then at the very top of each sticky note, there are relevant things to check off. So if you're keeping track of a project, you can check off like if it's in progress, in review, and whether or not it's complete. Really nice. I could use this for my current setup. Next, let's dive into the pens. Cloth and Paper, they combined their pen subscription with the stationery box. And I still don't know how to feel about this because I really do have my tried and trues, like the ones that I love to write with. I just kind of stick with that pen. So introducing a new pen in my setup. You guys already know, I will use a new pen every couple of months just to try it out. You know, I want to share with you all like what I've learned with using that pen, whether or not I like it. Getting a new pen this frequently is, let's just say I have a bit of a collection. So let me grab a pad of paper real quick so that we can try these out. I can't find my pad of paper. I have the back of this white piece of paper. So let's see. This is a Schneider made in Germany. This is what the tip looks like. It's very sharp. I can already tell that this has it's gonna write thin. Like this is gonna be a thin nib. And then, actually, let me see what this says. Doesn't say much. Okay. Ooh, I mean, it is very nice. This reminds me of the Zebra Fineliners, but a much thinner nib, which I don't know about you guys, but anytime I'm at the store and I just happen to be in the pen section and I look at the Zebra Fineliners, tell me why it is always in a 0.7 nib. Where are the 0.5s? Because the 0.7 is a little too thick for me. So this pen writes like the Zebra Fineliner. However, it has a thin nib. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I mean, it's new, brand new. Like I just popped off the little plastic thing that was wrapped around the nib, but the ink seems to be coming out pretty consistently. I like this pen. That's a keeper. That's worth trying. This here is a Pilot V5 High-Tech 0.5. It looks like this has a cartridge system. This is what the nib looks like. This is so thin. This kind of reminds me of the pen that I was using a couple of months ago, the Uni Pen Fineliner. That's what this reminds me of. I like this too. I mean, it writes very smoothly. The ink, very much like the Schneider, flows pretty consistently. Yeah, this is a nice one. Both of them are really nice. I mean, whether or not, you know, I might not be too happy that Cloth and Paper combined the pen subscription with the stationery. This month's pen selection, they did pick out 2 great pens. Like I like both of them very much, and I can see myself using this in the future. Right now, I am still using the Pilot Friction erasable pen. I really like that. I don't know. I could honestly see myself using that for the rest of the year. Like the fact that that pen is erasable, it's a plus for me. This here is the pen that I'm using in my Hobonichi. It is the Uniball 1 gel pen. I love this pen. I mean, I have 3 of these in different colors. The orange is just so nice. I was using this pen earlier in the year in my planner, but I really do prefer an erasable pen when it comes to my planner. I do a lot of erasing and moving things around. So having an erasable pen is just so much more convenient than having to like whip out the whiteout. Okay, last but not least, and I think this is the big ticket item. This is the Task Roller, stainless steel, 2.75 by 6 inches. Interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. I mean, this like makes me want to do my taxes. I mean, I have to admit, this is a really pretty product. It is so nice. I mean, I love all of the stainless steel items that they've been coming out with. I would say this year, because we got the ruler, or it was more like this here, very, very similar. I mean, oh my goodness. Okay, did I wake the baby? Anywho, same materials, both is stainless steel. Got this earlier this year, maybe just a couple of months ago. You could do some really fun things here, like add page flags and use it as a bookmark maybe for a book. I could see myself using that. But anywho, this is the main attraction of this box, is this task roller. Very interesting product. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use this in my current setup. I wish that this was like graph paper or even just lines, just plain blank white paper. I'm like, oh dang, I need a little guidance. I need some lines. Oh, maybe it is graph paper. I think no. I mean, it does have lines. I think it is, but why is it doing this? Crap, I think I'm just ruining this entire roll of paper, unless like that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's like when you peeled the toilet paper or the roll of napkins, you like can't find where it starts, and then you end up wasting a ton. Okay, now I like this. This is, it is lined paper. So you pop this here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. No, this is okay. Okay. I thought I put it in backwards. Like, I thought that this column here might be on this side. Like, I just put it in backwards, but I feel like you could have it either way. I like to write down my task, and then having the box on the right is great because I can just check it off once I've done it. I want to vacuum. I want to vacuum bathrooms. I need to clean the bathrooms. I don't know why I started at the very top, because now I'm going to waste all this paper. Now, this is what I'm looking forward to. When you tear this off, is it a clean tear, or does it leave the edge messy? So let's see. Okay. It was like both. It wasn't an absolute like clean tear, but it did do it. I think that, yeah, I still like it. This is just more rolls for when you run out of paper, and there's 3 in here. I'm semi-happy about the products in this box. The sticky notes I will definitely use. I can implement that in my current setup. The arrow stickers, love this color. Like, red is such a great color for fall. And then the dust bag, yes, I will always find some use out of the dust bag. Everything else, sadly, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to incorporate it into like my desk setup, my planner. But what's great about sub boxes, like these items, because they're so nice in quality, I could also give them away as a gift. That's the plus side. But anywho, I need some serious me time. I feel like I'm coming down with a cold. So the scratchy feeling in my throat, and then I just feel very fatigued. It's hard to tell if I'm like getting sick, or is it because I have an almost 2-year-old? That is the question. So I think for the rest of the day, I am going to journal because I've been backdating in my Hobonichi A6 and then read. That is my plan for the rest of the day. I'm in such a good place right now, like mentally. I cleaned my office. I need to be better at cleaning my office. I feel like I clean like a deep clean, real deep clean of my office once a quarter, and I feel like I need to do it at least every other month. I think it's just so easy for me to forget about cleaning my office because it's a common area in the house that I never have to walk through. And so when there is a mess in there, it's easy to ignore. It's easy to forget that there's a mess in there. I'm trying to create this like cleaning list of like what I need to do every quarter, what do I need to do every month, and what I need to do every week. So that it's just much easier in keeping the house clean. Earlier this week, I deep cleaned the rest of the house. Like I mopped, I deep cleaned the bathrooms, the kitchen, the living room, like the whole house is so clean and I feel good. I'm happy. I did finish The Firefly Summer by Morgan Matson. This is a book for an 8 to 12-year-old. I'm reading this alongside my niece. I checked out both copies from the library, gave it to my niece, and was like, you know what? I think this would be super fun for us to read this book together and talk about it. So I just finished it. She's coming over tonight and we're gonna talk about it. Kind of like a little mini book club session. Like this is what I imagine would happen between my son and I when he's old enough to read books like this. I just like can't wait for the day when he gets into Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or The Last Airbender. I would love for him and I to read the same book and then talk about it. Such a cute story. The main character of the story is a little girl. Her name is Rihanna. I think she's maybe 10, 12 years old, but she receives an invitation from her grandparents on her mother's side to spend the summer with them. Sadly, she doesn't know her grandparents. She lost touch with them when her mother died. So they're essentially strangers. So her summer plans change. Instead of hanging out with her dad and her stepmom, she is shipped off to Camp Van Camp, which is a sleepaway camp or so it was back in the day, but now her grandparents just live there. Not just her grandparents, but she also gets to spend time with her aunts, uncles, a bunch of people she doesn't even know. She finds out that she has like a ton of cousins. And then on top of that, I mean, the sweetest part really is the fact that she gets to know her mom through her family. There's also a treasure map, which makes it a page turner. Like, you really want to know what happens in the end. But yeah, really sweet story. If you have a niece, or maybe your daughter is around 8 to 12 years old, so a perfect summer read. So I liked it. I should ask my niece if she liked it. I think it's cute and endearing, but she might be like, this is boring. Anywho, I am also listening to The Briar Club by Katie Quinn. This is a historical fiction, and I learned after listening to this book that if I'm going to read a historical fiction, I need to have the physical book in front of me or my Kindle. When it comes to historical fiction, I just find that there are so many characters and relationships. I need to have a place where I can annotate, take down notes, make connections. There's just so many people to keep track of, and I feel like I would get confused and lost while listening to the story. So lesson learned. I don't know why this time. I always read historical fiction like on my Kindle, or I have the book. I don't know why this time I decided to listen to it. I shouldn't have. I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if I had just read it, but still a really great book. I'm almost done with it. I have about 2 hours left, and I need to finish that before Thursday because it's for my book club. And then my reading goals this month included the 2 books that I just mentioned, plus Notes on an Execution. I read this before for my book club, and now I'm reading it for my sister-in-law's book club. This is a really great book because it's about a man, Ansel. He is scheduled for his execution. It's happening in 12 hours. You get to read the story from his perspective, plus the perspective of the women in his life. So I believe it's his mom, it's the sister of his girlfriend, and then the detective. It's a very interesting read. I recommend this, especially if you are into true crime. Not that this has anything to do with like solving a crime or anything, but it's from the perspective of a serial killer. So this is next, and I quickly have to finish this by Wednesday. I have maybe 2.5 days. 3 days. I think I have 3 days to finish this, but luckily I have read this before, so I think it'll be a quick read. And then I'm gonna take a break for the rest of the week, and I'm gonna dive into Normal People by Sally Rooney. I have never read a Sally Rooney book. I'm actually excited to not just read a new book, but read a book by a new author. She, I feel like, has a ton of books in the book talk / social media circuit, so I recognize a lot of her books, but I have not read any of them. So I'm excited to start this one. And I believe there's a TV show, so that means it should be good, right? Like, it has to be good for them to turn it into a series. I could be wrong. The book could be terrible, but I think I want to give it a shot. Those are my book goals for the rest of September, and I also have a journal update for you guys. I spent a good chunk of this week backdating in the Hobonichi A6 AVEC. It looks so good. I am so happy with how this turned out. This is the journal that I started 2024 with, and now I'm ending with it. I am using it differently than how I was using it before. I was journaling here with 2 margins. There's this smaller margin and then a larger section here. The time blocking section was used for annotating the larger piece of text, and that would either be memory keeping, books, quotes, or articles. Now,
I've switched it up. Instead of using the time blocking margin for annotating my notes, I've just been daily journaling in this section. The larger margin is for my commonplacing. So as I said earlier, I record book notes and reviews, memories, specifically photos, memorable quotes, research, articles. I'm just missing the annotating section, but honestly, I don't mind that. There are moments, like, for instance, I find an article that, like, dang, I kind of wish I had a margin for this. It's moments like that I wish I had a little margin or some sort of footnote for just taking notes. But yeah, I'm okay with letting that one go, if that means that I can use the Hobonichi A6 AVEC, because that is what I did not want to do for the rest of the year. I did not want to invest in another journal. It was either going to be like I was going to somehow make the Hobonichi cousin work or go back to the Hobonichi A6 AVEC. So I'm very, very happy that I am making this work. Since I am journaling here and then commonplacing in the two margins, that means that the text has nothing to do with each other. It's a little messy, not aesthetically. I do find it interesting that my journal isn't very straightforward. This daily journaling section has nothing to do with the large piece of text right next to it. If someone were to read my journal, they'd be a little confused. I'm sure over time somebody could figure out what I was using the two sections for, but still, I do kind of like that it's a little confusing for anyone who is reading this. It's my journal, so it makes sense to me. But yeah, if anything, I love the look of it, the neat handwriting. I kept switching back and forth between cursive and print, and I think I've settled on print. I think print looks neat and organized. And I also just love the occasional photo or sticker. I love it. I have that like initial journal high, when you first start using a journal and it's working out for you. There's like this excitement that comes with that. Like, oh my gosh, this could actually work for me. Since this second half of the Hobonichi is pretty much like up to date in terms of the daily journaling, I do have the first half of my Hobonichi, and I could technically backdate in this one as well because my Hobonichi cousin started in April. The idea of backdating, like right now, no, I do not want to do this again. I think what I'll do is save it for December. I'll have a little bit more time then to backdate so that these both can be completed by the end of the year. Some of you have mentioned the B6 Stalogy, and what is so funny about you all mentioning that, I was just watching I believe her YouTube channel is Rachel in Theory. She came out with a video about, I'm trying to remember, but it was about anti something. Like, okay, I'm not going to go crazy this year on the planners, the Hobonichi planners. So she was pretty much listing out why she's not using the weeks or the cousin. She talked about using the B6 Stalogy because that B6 is in between the A6 and the Hobonichi cousin. So I don't know, I just felt like some of the problems she ran into with the Hobonichi cousin and the A6 are quite similar to my issues. So I don't know, I might have to get a B6 Stalogy to see what it's about. Anywho, that is the journal update. I'll see you all next week for another one. Bye.